Sue,
yes,
could marijuana be the solution to California's budget problems? According to a new study, a new bill to tax and regulate marijuana, like alcohol, could potentially inject billions into the state's empty coffers. Brilliant idea? Or simply a pipe dream?
Oh.
Here now, Bruce Mirken with the Marijuana Policy Project in San Francisco. Gee, let's guess what he thinks. Welcome to Power Lunch. Good to see you, Bruce.
Good to be here.
Let me guess, you think legalizing marijuana so that it can be taxed and bring in $1.4 billion, that's the estimate according to California, that's a good idea?
Well, it makes sense for a lot of reasons. One is obviously there is this very large piece of the California economy, as has been reported on CNBC many times, that is economically off the grid right now, unregulated and untaxed. But not only would it bring in revenue, it would do a lot of other things that simply make sense. It would give us the ability to regulate, have reasonable controls, and it would enable us to put an end to the environmental damage caused by marijuana being grown by criminal gangs in national parks. You know, there's a reason they're not planting vineyards up there.
Yeah, and unclog the judicial system as well. You got that 3 times and you're out, and then you got a lot of small petty drug crimes that are clogging up the system there as well, correct?
Well, indeed, and that's part of the equation that's not in this new estimate, is the law enforcement costs that would be saved. In 2007, which is the last year there's statistics available, in California alone there were 74,000 marijuana arrests, 80% of them for possession.
Let's give some people the other stats here. They estimate that there's 8.6 million pounds of marijuana grown every year in California with a value of $13.8 billion. We are quoting statistics straight from California because they are thinking about whether or not they should do this. They think it would bring in $1.4 billion in revenue. $990 million would come from levying a $50 per ounce fee on all marijuana that is grown, and then $392 million simply in sales tax, as if you were going to tax it just like alcohol. Do you agree with that? They're assuming 16 million ounces of annual consumption in California annually of marijuana if this happens. Do all those numbers sit well with you? Are they underestimates, overestimates?
Well, I think in all honesty, you have to say that none of these estimates can ever be exactly precise. And this is
that goes without
an
saying,
activity
sure.
that's illegal.
That's why they're an estimate.
And you can't measure precisely. They seem to be in a reasonable ballpark. And there are other metrics you can look at which suggest that this is a very large amount of money. For example, last year, the state of California said that they seized $11 billion worth of marijuana plants. You know, tally up the sales tax on that alone.
Why would taxing it allow you to regulate it better? Why wouldn't there just be more illegal production in order to get around the taxation?
For the same reason there isn't more illegal production of alcohol and cigarettes, which are taxed more heavily than is being proposed here. It's a pretty standard rule of economics that when you have a legal market for something, the underground market disappears. There's no need for criminal gangs growing the stuff when you can do it legally.
Yeah, do you think, Steve, the supposition is you legalize the marijuana, then you get a lot of real growers.
Depends on the taxation level. Depends on the tax level. I want to ask you, real quick, apologies to our guest, you being the Milton Friedman acolyte here, what would Milton say about this?
I think
the libertarian.
I've seen him interview about this. He absolutely thinks drugs should be legalized. He didn't endorse using them. I don't believe he ever did, but you might know as well, right, Bruce?
Milton Friedman was actually a lifetime member of the Marijuana Policy Project.
that answers that.
That's just...
But do you really think this would ever fly with the population? I mean, do you think it would ever go through, Bruce?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there was a recent statewide poll, the field poll, the oldest, most respected public opinion survey in California, showed 56% support. We've seen national polls trending in that direction. The public is way ahead of the politicians on this. The politicians are going to take a while to come around, but the public is going to drag them kicking and screaming, because our current laws make no sense.
Do you know if Milton Friedman ever actually smoked marijuana?
Not to my knowledge, but I don't know positively, but I doubt it. I think he just basically believed in letting people...
Sorry, we have
Sorry,
to
Bruce, thanks.
cut it off there without asking you whether or not these taxes would be high. Okay, still ahead, Cyprus